we're going to be doing some upgrades right fast. I'm getting ready to build my mama computer, and so I've decided I'm going to put the 1600 here that I got last month into that computer, and I went out and I got myself a 1700 because Micro Center had them going for $200, so why not do it? So we're going to start by pulling the power cord. Make sure power is off. We don't want any power left in the system. Gonna bump the power switch a few times. Yeah, there we go. The LEDs on the board have gone out. That means capacitors are discharged. To be extra safe, we will unplug the 8-pin and we will unplug the 24-pin. And that's better just to have that guy out of the way so there's more room to work here. Gonna take this fan and set it out of the way. We're gonna come in here, we're gonna unplug the fan cable there. I'm gonna back the screws out here. Something that's very important on the PGA style sockets, which is what AMD uses. Let's see, we still got some screw thread in here. Okay, which one? Something's still holding on. Okay. No, damn it. And these definitely feel like they're out of the thing. You gotta give this thing a nice little look. Let's check this. These PGA sockets, they like to practically glue themselves in. Let's see. I really need to try to find the light right fast. Alright, let's see what we got here. Yeah, that one's definitely out. That one's definitely out. So all these are definitely out. It's just really stuck on there, and that's a common problem with the AMD PGA heat sinks. They get just practically glued in place by the thermal paste. So you gotta wiggle them. Come on. I know these are out. I've turned them more than enough times for them to definitely be out. And that one's practically walking up on it. Son of a... This is the reason why I'm not a huge fan of the PGA sockets by AMD. Because if you're not careful, and it's very easy for this to happen, the let's see, just keep going on that, cranking on that one for a minute. These guys like to get stuck, and if you pull them out wrong, you'll pull the whole dang CPU out with it. Okay. Success. No CPU attached. No CPU attached. So that means we won. And that is a huge pain in the butt to get off right there. Alright, so now we're going to lift the retention arm. Grab that CPU. And I'm going to go ahead and line it up and drop it into this other motherboard. Okay, what the crap? Gold corner. All the pins are straight. Something's not right here. Okay, let me look at this socket. Okay, and this was in here. Okay, so that went in like that. So that means this goes in like that. Alright. Sorry about that. And wiggle. And retention arm down. Alright. So, now we take the new box and we slice it open, and we try to do this before the battery on the phone dies. And we pull out the new Ryzen, see the 1700. And it comes in a package like this. We fold that open. We carefully grab by the sides here, lift out, and it just settles right down in place. And we seat that in. Now we pull its cooler out of the box. there is some difference here because this one has the additional connections for RGB control of the, it's got an RGB ring in it. So we're going to go ahead and plug in the cable for that while it's out. Because I suspect that's a lot easier to plug in right now than after it's all screwed down. The only sucky thing is that these things actually have to sit in here basically sideways for the mount to mount. So the question is, do we want to go this way or this way? So I think we go this way with it. Get that first screw threaded in there. Bring this back. Get that side started. Come on. Tell me I got you started. Nope. There we go. Now we're started. Alright. Get these other I got this one too tight. I need to back this one up. Didn't follow my own rules. I always get all four screws started. And once they're started, then you can tighten them down. Okay, that one's snug. That one's snug. You do them in a crisscross pattern. Snug. And snug. Alright. Now we plug the fan cable into its position up there. And then we take this guy. This cable tie off. Probably should have done that ahead of time. Now this one goes to the LED header on the board, which is this white one right back in here, and it has a little arrow right there on the one pin. I'm assuming that means that's the 12-volt power. Alright, and that's plugged in. So now we plug in the 8-pin power, and we bring back in the 24-pin. Alright, that's fully seated. Now we plug back in the tower, and we power on. And we just sit here and we wait and we wait and we wait. For first boot. First boot is always crazy, insanely slow on Ryzen, so don't worry. Alright, and there's the first boot. New CPU installed. Press F1 to run setup. Enter and see what we got here. Alright, we are now showing the Ryzen 1700, and we're going to go ahead and jump into advanced, and let's see, is it AI tweaker, CPU core ratio? I'm going to go ahead and set right to 37 just to skip all the BS. Performance bias to CB15 for what I'm using it for. Now, see this one? No. Ah, crap. I'm gonna have to go back and relearn how you go about setting voltages. Okay. Okay, so the standard on this CPU is 1.1875. It's the base voltage, and so we're going to apply a plus offset of, let's see, we want to be around about, probably going to want to start around about a 1.3, so we're going to go to a point, well, let's start with a 0.0625. Enter. And let's try save changes and reset. Let's see if that'll even boot. I'd be surprised if it does. I think that's awful low on the voltage. We'll see if it boots. Okay, well, we got at least to here. Alright, we got into Windows. Now let's see what CPU ID says. We got all our cores at 3.7. Temperature's good. VID is much lower than I was on the 1600 actually. But we'll see if we can't push that a little higher. So let's do what I do for a benchmark. Alright, so we need to go in benchmark, click in here, uncheck that one, let that one start. Because you gotta let it run. Alright, this phone's about to die, so I think I'm just gonna call it a night right here and see if I can figure out how to make this thing stop. And I'll check with you guys later.